All right, welcome to the daily market analysis for 20 May. What we're going to do tonight is go over updates to the market since last night and also identify setups going into tomorrow. Tonight is our last webinar for the week. The market closes tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time, so we'll not be back on until Sunday. All right, so first pair we're going to go over is going to be EJ. Looking at the day time frame, they've still continued to do small pushes up to the top. They have given us a peak formation here, sending this long wick up towards the high. They've issued us a sun. One thing I do not like is that TDI has not popped outside the Bollinger Band. It's just been riding along it, right? So it's not really a good setup for me personally. I like to see TDI hit the Bollinger Bands like so, like this point here, even come shy of it, right? Close right before it, but not really riding alongside of it. And that's due to these small pushes, right? No real trend, just a steady climb. But if we go down to the 4-hour, we have first leg, second leg, right? TDI on first leg, it's outside the Bollinger Band. It hits just like we like to see. Came down towards the low, right? And it's hitting that market baseline right there. So not expecting them to come all the way back up, right? Because they got some volume of retail traders trapped here, right? They're trying to see, and this is exactly what they've been doing this whole time, which is why they've been making small pushes. They're trying to see how many traders they've induced long so they can snatch the market. If they get their numbers, then they'll come up tonight, right, for that week ending, or actually it'll be a midweek reversal, right? Retest to the midweek reversal and then snatch that market. We'll go down to the 4 hours 1 hour so I can explain it, show y'all in real time. So Monday, false move week beginning, right? Snatch the market, consolidated, continued the trend 1 to 2 days, right? 1-2 days. And then they did their midweek reversal immediately following that, right? Snatched the market, consolidated. Now they're coming back up to retest before they do their finishing move for the week, right? Aggressive move down, consolidate into the weekend. All right, this is the textbook setup, right? It's not as clear as most weeks, but as we said before, variation on the thing, right? They keep us on our toes, try to make us think irrationally. All right, but that's essentially what's going on. So they're retest to the midweek reversal right before they snatch the market. You can see on the 1 hour time frame, TDI is blown outside the top Bollinger Band. They got to come back in, right? Now they could continue to push up, right? Come down a little bit towards mid-Asian and continue up to retest that high and end the week here, right? Consolidate. And then next week, do their false move week beginning, come down, retest, give it an M, and then actually make their move. All right, so that's what's to be expected tonight. In summary, this is our high. This is our reference point right here, from here to here for that reversal tonight. Any questions? All right, moving on to UF. So, as explained before, we did not catch this right here, but I told you that they would come back down. They hit this 50 EMA, right, and they're on their way down now. They're at the low currently, so we'll go down to the 4 hour time frame. Only thing I don't like here is that this TDI, there's some space in between it and the bottom Bollinger Band. But again, we go off of the pattern, right? and there is a W right here. As long as it doesn't violate or extend this low, right? If it doesn't close below that low, we'll go down to the 1 hour. There's that triangle, that pattern that we like to see. It lets us know it hit all three of these huge indicators. We got a sun here, moon, lets us know it's coming. On the second leg, TDI was outside the Bollinger Band. This is what I like to see. If it's going to ride alongside the Bollinger Band, I'd rather it be outside of it, not inside. All right, so it came back in, and it's on its way down right now to continue. To retest this leg right here, this outside structure. As long as it does not exceed this right here, this line, this blue line, we are good to go. We're gonna hold it, or go for a long position and hold it until right before the market closes tomorrow. Let's see what other indicators. That is all. Again, could continue to push down and give us that 3 vector down to the 25 pip box before taking off. But if they give us that W during London, that just means that there was more money, and we'll wait for the second leg to form later on tonight. All right, but this looks like this could be a position that we take here shortly. I will keep y'all posted. You see it's on its way back down now to retest the low of the day, Asian's low. Moving on to UC. So on the 4-hour time frame, essentially the same thing as UF. They hit that 50 EMA and they came back down. Only thing is they've been consolidating ever since they've done that. I mentioned before that they probably wouldn't come down all the way down here to retest, and they didn't. They hit right below this this market baseline, and they're on their way back up now. If they close above this 13 EMA, the red EMA, it's probably as good as gone. If they pin it, they're going to come back down, right, and finish the weekend at this low, which means the real trend will happen next week. So that's what we're hoping will happen. They'll continue down, right, give us a better setup. This is not really a sharp railroad track or a strong shift. So that's why we haven't taken it yet. They came down and basically consolidated, right, for 8 hours, and then it looks like they're on their way up to this 13 now. So more to follow on that. All right, EU. EU has been making these small pushes, extending this high right here that we talked about earlier this week, Sunday, Monday, right? Actually, it was this one to retest this. This was last week's high, right? Monday we talked about it retesting this and extended it, shifted that zone up there, right? There was more money. That means he had traders trapped here and here going short, right? And we were almost one of them. They shifted that zone, gave us a peak formation, and they're coming back to retest it now. That first leg was at the top Bollinger Band. This one is just shy, closed right below it so far, right? But this is a structure, multi-day M. We'll go down to the 1 hour. All right. Here's a clear picture. This was that first leg on the 4 hour. Here's that second leg. So right now we got the high of the day during Asian. And you see TDI is on its way back up to the top Bollinger Band. All right, we have a moon. They've issued us a moon. So we'll wait to see how they behave once they get to this high up here, right? I'll go ahead and put another triangle for quick reference. Now they could continue up, do that 3 vector to the 25 pip box, right? Give us an M and then go short, right? Or they could come back down here, retest that low of the day, and then hit the high and then drop, right? So at the end of the night, we'll see how they behave at this high, and that'll tell us everything that we need to know. All right. Still don't really care for AU. They did come into the range like we said, but because this hasn't come up a lot closer to this second hit right here, not too comfortable with it, and the fact that it's at the market baseline, all of this, there's no real trend here, which made these Bollinger Bands narrow down. We can go to the day time frame and see that it's doing the same thing. I usually like getting my bias on the higher time frames, but there's no bias to get here, right? There's no trend. It's not really on either side of the mid-level line, so I'm not going to entertain it. AJ, the same thing, right? It's right here at this mid-level line. Bollinger Bands are narrow. I don't really care for it. We have better setups. NJ, they're hitting that 50 EMA now, or have hit that 50 EMA. They're coming back down to give us a second leg. We'll see if they hit it and then continue up. Right now, we just got a bias Bollinger, right? Which means both Bollinger Bands are on one side of the mid-level line, so they could continue down, right? But we had better setup, so we did not take this pair. All right, moving on to GC. GC on the daytime frame, we let this go because we just had one leg, right? It did hit the bottom Bollinger Band, but if you come down to the 4-hour time frame, right, as explained before, these hits to the low should have been a lot lower before it looks appealing to us, right? These were too high, right at that market baseline. We weren't really sure where the bias was, so we set aside. And at the end of the day, we made the right decision. Just like AU and AJ, there was no real trend, right? A lot of consolidation, sideways movement. They're trying to figure out what the next move should be, right? They don't have bias Bollingers yet. They haven't given us that, so we're going to sit on the side for that one as well. NU, on the 4-hour time frame, they did pin the 50 EMA here. TDI hit that market baseline. We'll drop down to the 1 hour so I can explain this to you. So first leg was during US, right? And then the second leg during Asian session, which is why we did not catch it. I wish that they had given us at least first leg during Asian, second during London, but that did not happen. So I am not 100% secure about trading the US, especially a retest during Asian. I prefer Asian into London, right? Or a complete London setup, which means they give both legs during London, or first leg during Asian, second leg during London. So that's why we didn't catch that. But as stated at the beginning of the week, they did come back into the trading zone. I had explained that previously. So we'll see how they finish the week off, whether they come back down here to this low, and that'll tell us where they're going next. All right, CJ. CJ is on his way back up to retest this high. All right, we'll go up to the daytime frame, hitting that 13 EMA. That was a dead giveaway. They're coming back up, give us that second leg on the day. It'll look a lot a lot better next week. All right. GU, moving on to next pairs. They've given us a first leg. As stated before, they extended the high, shifted that zone out of away from this peak formation high, giving us another peak formation, issued us a sun. You see TDI was right below that high level line. Well, now they're back to retest, just right above this market baseline. Go down to the 1 hour. There's our first leg for the night, right? Waiting to see how they behave at this 13 EMA. These EMAs are spaced out, which to me, I don't like trading this, even though it is a retest to this, right? Even over here, I wouldn't have traded this because those EMAs are spaced out way too much. You see they consolidated, brought those EMAs together, and then crossed. They could do that again tonight, or they could come down here to the 13 or the 50, come back up and retest, which will bring those EMAs a lot closer. Right now, it's about a 12 pip gap. I don't care for that. Once they retest, it'll bring those EMAs closer, and then when they cross on the 15-minute time frame, we'll take it short. All right, moving on to GJ. GJ on the 4-hour time frame, essentially the same thing. TDI is coming back up towards the market baseline. Price action is coming back up to retest this previous level right here. I say previous level because there's been a lot of sideways movement, not really a clear M, right? Just a lot of consolidation. So that's level 1 right here. Waiting to see how they behave tonight, whether they go down to the 4-hour or 1 hour, whether they give us an AFP, right, which is away from peak. So here's the peak. They shifted, came back up, completing that one level, and then we're looking for another short position away from this peak. So that's an AFP setup. TDI's hit the top Bollinger Band. Now they've issued us a moon. Drop down to the 15-minute. And there it is. There's that first hit. We're just waiting for the second leg. See how they behave up here back at this high. They've issued a star right above the 50 EMA. That's what we like to see. Lets us know that they're coming back up. And TDI is outside that Bollinger Band now. We do have a biased Bollinger. Let's see what it looks like. They're spaced out here. But there's space in between TDI and the market baseline on the 4-hour time frame. So they got some room to come up before they continue their trend short. All right, EG, nothing is going to happen on EG tonight. That is not a good setup. So we'll skip that. GN, they've extended the high on GN yet again, right? Still trying to induce traders to go long. He hasn't gotten the numbers that he's working on, hoping for, so he's extended that high once again. But TDI is at the top Bollinger Band. This will probably be a next week move, right? They give us that first leg and then come back. False move week beginning to retest and then shift the market, snatch the market away from them. All right. Last but not least, EN. EN wasn't in the webinar at the beginning of this week, but they ended up making the cut because they have pinned the 200 EMA, right? They sent some wicks up here, issued us a sun. TDI is now outside the Bollinger Band, so drop down to the 4-hour. There's first leg, second leg, as long as it respects it, doesn't violate it, is valid. First leg hit that top Bollinger Band, came down, and it's on its way back up to the top Bollinger Band. Drop down to the 1 hour. There it is, a lot clearer. First leg, consolidation, right? Getting those numbers. He didn't have them. Pulled back up to retest. TDI is hitting or approaching that top Bollinger Band now. So we have our first and second leg. And then we're just waiting on the EMAs across. Hopefully they come down and then back up to retest, bringing those EMAs together a lot closer. Once they come back up for that second leg, I'll go ahead and issue the signal, and we'll do a 1-to-3 ratio. Trade just 3% of your account, right? And then we'll scale in as the market shifts. TDI is outside of the Bollinger Band, the top Bollinger Band on a 15-minute chart. So it's looking very promising. All right, that is it for the night. You have any questions? All right. If you do, hit me up in the group chat, me and Nick, or send us a direct message. Other than that, y'all have a good night. We will see y'all Sunday, 8 p.m. Central.